Hey everybody and welcome back. So I have not done a makeup tutorial in a hot minute. I don't know, I go through phases where I just feel inspired or creative or whatever. I do not film as much as I get creative, whatever reason, I don't know. But it is holidays and I wanted to do my variation of a holiday look for you. As you know, I don't do very much like super glam makeup, so this will be great because I feel like what I try to do is a good base to where if you're looking for something, you can definitely, it's that good mid ground of glam to where you can definitely play this up, put some lashes on, put a cat eyeliner, oh that's fun, put a winged eyeliner on. So whatever you want to just add up to this. But if you want something a little bit more wearable and you don't feel comfortable or you just prefer to wear a little bit more easy, not so over the top makeup, then this is going to be great for you. Obviously it does incorporate gold because I was sitting there trying to think of like something that hasn't been done, and I was like, honestly, like I want to do gold, and I did my variation of gold. So I really like plums and mauve tones, so instead of doing like the traditional just like browns and golds or something like that, I went ahead and incorporated the plums and used the gold with it. And I just got this eyeshadow. I'm so excited. I will tell you what it is in the video as you see it, but I will also haul it in my upcoming Black Friday video that should be up next week because everything's trickling in now. So I'm just waiting on waiting on a few last things for that video, and then that will be up soon. And I did do two lip options in this video. This is obviously the darker of the two, and I did a more nude shade to where if you want something a little bit more daytime appropriate, you have that option as well. So that is pretty much all I have to say for this little segment. So if you want to see how to achieve this holiday easy look, then go ahead and keep watching, and I'll be seeing you very soon in my next video. Bye.
Alrighty, so starting off, I'm just going to be going in with the Artist palette from Anastasia and starting with the shade Dusty Rose. And this is my Morphe E13 brush I'm going to be using back and forth in that crease. This is just like a really pretty dusty rose shade, and I'm just going to be using this as kind of like that mauve base. And I do have primer on my eyelids. I just normally never put it on a video for whatever reason, but I normally use the primer potion from Urban Decay. And then next I'm going to be going in with the Self-Made palette from Anastasia as well, and this shade Sherbet. This is just a little bit more of a peachy shade, but it does have a slight sheen to it. And I'm going ahead and putting that exactly where I put the Dusty Rose shade. And I'll be using my Morphe M433 brush. It's just like a really big, fluffy blending brush just to kind of get those two colors to blend and give a little bit more of a warmth to the crease. And then I'll be using the shade Hot Chocolate from the same palette as well on my Sigma E30 brush, and putting that in sort of a diagonal angled shape. And then for this, you can definitely use a more tapered brush that's a little bit more fluffy, but I don't know, I just felt like this was going to give me more control. So you can definitely mix and match brushes for the same purpose. Going ahead on that same side, I picked up a little bit more product only because I had to add on that first side, which is why it'll look a little bit more intense here. And then just focusing really on that angled shape and keeping it on that outer third of the eye. And then once I have that to my desired depth, I'm going to go back in with that same Morphe M433 brush and just kind of blending everything together to making sure there's no harsh lines with that dark chocolate, or sorry, the hot chocolate color, if you will, just to get everything nice and really, really blended. And then this is one of my favorite Anastasia shades ever, and it is the shade Buttery. I love this for everyday looks, but today I'm just going to be using that on one of the brushes that I got in the Naked, I think it was the rose gold palette, and it's a dual-ended brush. I just always use this flat side to apply and pack on color. But this is just it's a true like buttery color. It's really like creamy and has a hint of yellow. And now for the star of the show, this is the ColourPop Shadow in Cheap Date. This is one of the new shadows from their holiday collection this year, and it is so pretty. I don't know if it'll translate on here, but there is very, very fine silver, like micro glitter almost in this, to where it's kind of multi-dimensional, which is what I love about it. And it wore all day. I did end up wearing this for the rest of the day, and my preferred method to apply a lot of the ColourPop shadows is with my fingertip. I just feel like it packs on the color a lot better. And then that way, like once you're done getting the amount of color payoff that you like, then you can go in with other shades and brushes and kind of just work around it. But I feel like overall, the base, just by patting it on with your finger, gives the best color payoff. And one thing I will mention, because I did edit that clip out, I did end up getting a little bit of the glitter like in that inner corner at the bottom before I put my makeup on, and I just went ahead and used the tissue to help remove it, so that didn't really affect anything underneath. And then I just go back in, and I didn't put anything extra on my Sigma blush, but I went in and kind of just reshaded that brown area, just to kind of blend the gold into the brown, so there wasn't any like really harsh lines, even though I did want to keep there being a difference right up there on that top of the crease on the inner corner. And now we're just going to be going in and starting our face. And I'm going to be using my YSL primer. This is the blurring primer that I did mention in my favorites. It's kind of like got like a silicone feel, and I basically put that all over where I have larger pores, and then on the center of my chin and the center of my forehead as well. As you can see, I have a fine line there that one day I'm feeling soon maybe going away. I'm using my LC Cosmetics Micro Sleek Foundation in the shade Cameo. I switch off between Cameo and Vanilla. Cameo, as you can see, is a lot lighter. I do notice that with Cameo, I don't seem to get as good of coverage, which is strange. I mean, it still looks good in the end anyway, but I feel like with Vanilla, I feel like it covers up the redness and the pigmentation damage that I have on my skin. But both colors fit really well, and this foundation is great. It lasts all day, and this is the foundation I use every single day and have been using since I purchased it in like June or so. I love this foundation. My opinion on it from my review has not changed at all. And this is my preferred method of applying my foundation. I go in with my beauty blender first, and then just so I don't have like a lot of foundation on, like as in layer wise, I'll go back in and dot it on the areas where I have a little bit more hyperpigmentation, and blend it in with my fingers, so the coverage in those areas is more compact because I'm using my finger versus an applicator to spread it around. And then I'm going to be using my Fit Me concealer from Maybelline. This is the shade 15. It has a little bit more of that slight pinkiness to it, and blending that in with my other beauty blender, because yes, I use two because I don't like getting the other one dirty with the other product, which is excessive, I know. This is definitely one of my favorite concealers. I've been having a problem with like dry skin under my eye lately. I don't know, it's really frustrating because I feel like that eye area, the skin around it is so like delicate and sensitive and just thin, and I don't know, so frustrating. But this concealer really helps. And now for contouring and setting that under eye concealer, I'm going to be using the Marc Jacobs Instamark filter in the shade 40 Mirage, and I'm going to be using both of those today. So I use the banana shade in here to set the under eyes, and then I'll use the contour shade to contour with. I have not used anything else in a really long time for both of these purposes. This is also a brush that I have been re-enjoying from Morphe. I don't remember the specific one right off the bat, but it is a really, really good brush. It makes it a lot more simple for me to get that contour line that's straight like I'd like it to be. But just another thing, I had tried using creams for a little bit. I thought it was okay, but then I don't know, my skin just turns everything orange, and it has been so frustrating for me, so I just went back to powder. And then I kind of trade off whether I want to or not, like contouring that area around my hairline, but I just did a little bit with whatever happened to be left on the brush, not adding anything else. But I'm going to be using for blush today the Lorac Unzipped blush palette, and then the more mauve toned shade in the palette, which is great, and it's really light. As you can see, I don't like very stark blushes, especially when you have pink undertones or you have hyperpigmentation damage. It just makes it stand out a lot more. And then I love this combo, which I did mention in my favorites this month, and it is the Benefit What's Up. I do have the travel size, which is why it looks different. And this is exactly how I apply it. I will just take a little bit on my finger and then dab that on a slightly wow, that's a fun word, diagonal line, and just pat that in a little bit before I go in with any of my powder highlighters. And today for the highlight, I just decided to go a little bit more subtle, and I'm just going to be using the new one that I picked up from Chanel. It's the number 12, and this is just a little bit more of that natural, like, sheen of a highlight. It's nothing very stark, and I do use a little bit on the tip of my nose and the Cupid's bow area. I kind of like that entire little, like, U shape. I don't like just like on the top of my lips. I like that entire little U underneath your nose to the top of your lips. That's for me. Sometimes I'll even put a little bit of highlight on the center of my chin. I did not do that today for whatever reason. And then for what are we doing next? Let's see. There we go. I'm going to bake a little bit today. So I just use my Cover FX illuminating powder and the shade number 1. I'm not quite sure if they still make this. I know that I mentioned that in my favorites, but I just wanted to show you how I use it. This is just an Eco Tools blush brush. It's really, really soft. I've had it for a while and it never has once shed. I'm obsessed. This brush is so good. Eco Tools brushes in general are so good. Now for the brows, I'm going to be starting off with my Benefit Give Me Brow in the darker shade out of the two. And I go ahead in the front area, I just brush it up and then go with my natural arch for the rest of it. And as you can see, this just adds like more color to my brows, but it's not necessarily filling them in. You can definitely use this product by itself, which is great, but I definitely go in and out a little bit more pizzazz. And I'll be curling my lashes. I love this eyelash curler. I got it from one of the Tarte holiday collections last year. It's so cute. They have a cute one this year too. It's like more like rhinestoney. But onto mascara. This is my everyday mascara for the last couple months. It is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. It's so great. I love the length and the volume that it gives my lashes because I have a problem finding a mascara that does both. Because I have long lashes naturally, but it's hard to find the two that I need. And then I'm going to be going back in on that under eye area with the shade Hot Chocolate again. And just bringing that into about the inner third of my eye with my Morphe G28 brush. It's just a very structured, flat brush, which I love. And instead of making that curve so much around my eye, I'll keep it open at the ends there just to kind of keep my eyes looking a little bit more fresh. I'm going back in with that Dusty Rose shade from the Artist palette and blending those two colors out to make them more cohesive with those similar colors that we used right on top. I just love the way that you can just do something so small and it makes a big difference. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Treasure from the Self-Made palette and then just pat that on for my inner corner highlight. Obviously, you can use something like my pencil brush to do this, but I was just in a very hands-on mood today. And the brow pencil is the shade Chocolate and it's the Brow Wiz, obviously, from Anastasia. These are just my favorite. I feel like this year I've switched off like 4 different times. I go from the pomade, I go from the powder. I mean, I have all of it and this is just the way I've been sticking to right now. And the struggle is still real. I'm still trying to find that perfect brow shape, but this is what we have for today, and just setting it with a clear brow gel from Anastasia as well. I really enjoy using this. I feel like it's just kind of that perfect final touch without adding like crispiness to my brows and just holds them in that shape that I like. And then I'm going to go ahead and just dust off that extra powder. As you can see, it's not like a drastic change, but it kind of just adds a little bit more structure. And now for lips. This is O for Pasadena, and this is the more nude shade in the 2 options that I'll be showing you. And voila! This is your shade Mina from Over Cosmetics as well. This is more of that deep vampy look. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye!